Greetings.
Greetings.
Hello to you, great dreamer.
We have woven a tale together in days past. Perhaps we shall again. We make mighty stories, you and I. And now I have daunting task before me, the last in my great journey. Near to us, cast in shadow, a monster awaits. Black Death is his name, a beauteous eight-leg, twisted grotesque by the master of these loathsome halls. I wish to give this eight-leg the merciful peace he deserves, and to save what is still beautiful, the elixir that only Black Death can make. Please, will you find him? Kill this Black Death. Take the eight-leg's venom for me. I may be fearsome warrior, but Black Death's master has made him into a thing more monstrous than even I can best. Who knows? Perhaps Black Death is too strong even for you. I have climbed the great eight-leg web. I know the eight legs like no other. This eight-leg, this Black Death, is one of the oldest and most fearsome eight-legs in all this land and beyond. To its shame, it was made pet, plaything by the malicious master of this place. For years countless, it grew in pain. Pain is all it knows, all it can understand, all it can give. End Black Death's pain, for all and once. My great journey led me to places of great power beyond even your story's great dreamer. I am carried on legs and webs and shadows. That is all you can know for now.
Now is your chance to claim back victory. Slay them amongst the flames. Vengeance is cold indeed. The wind conspires with the flames. Death's cold grip is inescapable. Hate begets hate. A meager turnaround.
I can't do this just yet.
Our brutal construction nears completion, and now only the wretched Dodri Darktongue remains. Unlike her compeers who, in undeath, have yearned for the familiar, Dodri appears drawn to the old wounds of calamity. The cataclysm took some, and left much that a parasite like Dodri might enjoy. I shall meet you in Sarn, where I hope you Our brutal construction nears completion, and now only the wretched Dodri Darktongue remains. Unlike her compeers who, in undeath, have yearned for the familiar, Dodri appears drawn to the old wounds of calamity. The cataclysm took some, and left much that a parasite like Dodri might enjoy. I shall meet you in Sarn, where I hope you shall make swift and bloody work of that foul hag.
The Black Venom! O great dreamer who has done great deeds. I shall see to it that my queen rewards you with honor and mercy when she rises up to claim what is hers. Yes, this elixir, so aged and potent, shall be life-giving draught that she sips upon first waking. It is my gift to her, my wedding gift. Great dreamer, you will be wrapped in silken finery and made welcome at our wedding feast, guest of honor. And oh, what a feast we all shall enjoy.
Prove your last victory was not mere chance. Your reach exceeds your grasp. The tide of death is rapid. Night's madness strains away all hope. Can you feel death coiling around your heart? Vengeance is cold indeed.
I can't do this just yet.
Death's cold grip is inescapable. That makes it 2 in a row.
I believe in traveling light.
One less twisted intellect perverting our world. There is still much to be done, but at least we can rest easier in the knowledge that Meligaro and his foul creations will trouble Rayclass no longer. Here. I know that you and Groost didn't see eye to eye, but I'm sure he would have wanted to recognize this deed. It's the act of a warrior, after all. Journey well.
What you tell me of Silk, this I understand, though I do not want to. I have spent many nights pondering Silk's journey, why he has stepped from the spirit path. Now I know. He has walked into the 8 arms of blind lust, Arakali. Silk is a warning to us all. He is trying to take the short trail to greatness, to the story Spirit has made for him. Silk tries to steal his story, but now he holds only a lie. Please, you must find the place where this Arakali sleeps in her web of shadow. You must stop Silk before he wakes her. A mistake that we all will come to regret. The spirit tells me this is so. I have asked questions of Spirit, and it has answered in dreams that wake me with screaming. Arakali will suck all life from this land, leave only empty husks and dusty bones. There will be no spirit, no us, no thing left to love and laugh. Only husks and dust and Arakali. Goodbye.
What? He's intending to make matrimony with Arakali? My word, that's quite a story even for Silk. Yes, I know that name, and the place to which it is purportedly attached. A temple to the north, now in ruins. If Silk intends unholy congress with this Arakali, that is the most likely place we would seek it. Unfortunately, Arakali's temple lies beyond that which now belongs to Ralakesh. To reach the many-legged goddess, you must first draw to some conclusion with the many-faced god. From what I can recall, Arakali was a Val fertility goddess, a rather unsettling union of sexuality and mortality. Whilst usually presenting herself as a large arachnid, Arakali would often assume human form, a ruse intended to lure mortals into the act of copulation. The entries were vague about the gender of her prey. After satiating her carnal desires, she would then quench her divine thirst, draining her erstwhile lover of all bodily fluid. Her acolytes would then collect the desiccated husk and give it a decorative placement in Arakali's unholy temple. I fear that Silk knows not the true nature of the marriage he so desperately seeks. Fare you well.
The path to justice is slender and perfidious, fraught with missteps of ambition and despair, egotism and doubt. Should you choose this road, beware those who would waylay your hopes and disembowel your dreams. Remain sure and remain true.
I can't do this just yet.
There is a fine line between consideration and hesitation. The former is wisdom, the latter. Your series of victories will end here. Your enemies hasten. Vengeance is cold indeed. Death's cold grip is inescapable. Hate begets hate. Night's madness strains away all hope. This will not continue. I am unconcerned. Speak.
I believe in traveling light. I can't do this just yet.
Hello. Go with courage.
Anchoring for it.
Greetings. Journey well.
In the court of the goddess, every man and woman is deemed worthy of redemption. Though you might be shackled by the tribulations of the past, the trials ahead offer you both freedom and glory. The future is yours, if you're bold enough to reach out for it. The strongest metal of them all. In the impressionable youth of my life, I was encouraged to believe in the precious nature of my imperial blood. The divine claret, as one fool courtier would repeat with tiresome regularity. Unfortunately, my divine claret refused to pour from one cup to another. Try as I might, with a lovely procession of young Earl Duke of Squires, my noble seed simply would not sprout. Who then to choose as my worthy successor? With the candidates on hand either mediocre at best or maniacal at worst, I found myself in quite the quandary. That's when fortune took me by the hand and led me to a forgotten tome on a forgotten shelf in the quietest corner of San Library. A tome entitled Ancient Traditions of Asmarian Ascendancy. The rest, one might say, is history. The weary traveler draws close to the end of the path. An emperor is only as efficient as those he commands. Give up yourself. You were born for this. Only one of your lessons was completed, Ascendant.
I can't do this just yet. A worthy opponent!
When the time comes to strike, an emperor strikes without hesitation. To entertain doubt is to boldness lend strength to one's enemies. Receive your sentence.
I can't do this just yet.
An aspirant can afford to be promising. An emperor must keep those promises. The custom of the Lord's trial was upheld throughout the founding years of the Empire. Verusso's successor, Caspiro, was a low-born legionnaire, the lone survivor of a labyrinth that claimed the lives of every high-born contender, including Verusso's only son. Caspiro proved to be every bit the emperor that Verusso was. Alas, the Lord's labyrinth was corrupted by those with the vanity to consider their blood more precious than their empire. Selfish blood breeds selfish times, and the Empire paid for it with its own blood, with the Knight of 1,000 Ribbons, with that most regal of cannibals, Emperor Romira. Not anymore. I, Isaro Frecius, shall return us to justice. I shall build the greatest Lord's labyrinth in Asmerian history, and my successor shall be chosen by the goddess herself. Only when the Lord's labyrinth is drenched in selfish blood can a true leader ascend the throne.
The guide led the warrior down a path that wound and twisted through fields of blossoming promises, green-bladed hopes. The warrior closed his eyes, a mere moment to feel the warmth of the sun on his back and to drink from the guide's proffered flask. Now the warrior staggers and crawls down the wounded, tortured causeway. The bitterness stings his weeping eyes, the fire roars in his belly, consuming him. The warrior will not ascend. Instead he hunts, guided by his love for Esamir.
The Empire awaits you with open doors. Violence is delicate. The trap of tyranny is inescapable.
I believe in traveling light.
Ralakesh! Turn away the tyrant's face, and kingdom end without a trace. When you try to control everything, you ultimately control nothing. Ralakesh has never quite been able to grasp that concept.
Hello. Stay true to you. The spirit hunts. Groost hunted too far from the lands of spirit and fell prey to a spiritless one. I am sad at how he passed, an ugly death. Yet I am thankful that he suffers no more, that he has now found his way back to the spirit, that he can rest now. Be well.
Yes, I thank you. Though I loved him, I know Groost was lost to me the very moment he touched that vile abomination. I will weep over his passing for many more nights to come, but I am happy that you avenged his honor and freed him from his torment. There's an Asmeri shrine tucked away in the northern forest. Groost took me there, told me it was a memorial to those who had gone before him, a place where their spirits could rest. When he passed, he wanted his remains to be laid to rest with the bones of his people. His body, I find it difficult to even think about it, but I doubt it will ever be recovered. Yet there might still be a way. He gave me his necklace, the fangs he earned when he rose from boyhood to manhood, handed it to me for safekeeping only moments before Ralakesh. It's almost as if he knew what was to come. Please, could you deliver this necklace to the shrine for me? Put Groost's spirit to rest? I would do it myself, but the journey to the northern forest is not what it was. These lands have changed, and not for the better. Go with courage.
You truly are a hero of the modern age, succeeding where even the ancient Val could not. I must say I'm really quite relieved. For a while there I feared we were headed towards another theocratic dictatorship. Exile allowed me to be free of one. I had no wish to experience another. You deserve to be rewarded for your efforts. Here, something with a little insight would suit your purposes nicely. You truly are a hero.
Into the most dreaded of thickets you must go, I'm afraid. For there Gruthkul the Despairing sulks and schemes. The Val laid waste to her kingdom and placed her slaughtered children at her feet. Grief enveloped Gruthkul, transformed her, flooded her mind with a singular thought, to share her suffering with those who had murdered her daughters. Though she has returned, her sanity has not. There is no fury like a mother bereaved. I wonder if Gruthkul would still grieve for her children if she knew the truth. The Spinner of Shadows had no aspirations until Gruthkul's daughters plotted against her. They saw her power over the people, her miraculous potions, her intoxicating lusts. They feared Arakali, thought she might threaten their legacy. Yet that's the curious thing about spiders. They only leave their web when you force them to. A temptress and a predator. Val legends say she crawled up from the blackest of pits during the creation of the world. No, her beginnings were far more mundane. a mortal harlot whose endless lust for loin and lecherous delight saw her transformed into the very image of her dark desires. The Spinner of Shadows, they once called her. She sees herself as a regular goddess of love, and has the romantically forged temple to prove it. That's where you'll find her. Yet there's little romance to the lady herself. At least, I doubt the corpses that now embrace her carapace would think so. Answering the call of a royal invitation, I visited the Spinner of Shadows as an emissary for a small and fragile alliance of gods. Mostly weak deities huddling together in terror of being consumed by their greaters. At this time, Queen Arakali ruled an empire, and so invited me to gaze upon her mighty works with appropriate wonder. If I'd looked past this pretense, I may have chanced to see her hidden desire to have me share her bed. For years, I lay trapped in her webbed sheets. Some days she enjoyed my prowess. Other days, we enjoyed each other. Yet this illusion of love and leisure simply veiled the morbid reality that I was not free to leave. I languished under her bewitching spell until the day the spider was betrayed by her own flies, and sealed within that temple of her own fevered making. Into the most dreaded of thickets you must go, I'm afraid.
I be missing me granddaughter something terrible. You know, I used to tell Lily bedtime stories till she fell asleep in me arms. She loved the ones about Kishara, a tough-as-nails Val lassie, said to have explored every coast, cove and bay of this blasted continent with the help of her star. Some nifty artifact she nabbed from somewhere on her first voyage. Young Lily, she were fascinated by Kishara's star. Said to be fair humming with thaumaturgy, able to guide its mistress wherever she be fixing to journey. Methinks me granddaughter liked to imagine that one day she'd hold the star in her hands and explore the outer reaches of this world. Oh, I'd dearly love to see her again. But there ain't no way of making that journey with nothing to show for it. She looks up to me, does Lily. So, I'm reckoning that star might put a smile on her pretty face. With such a gift in hand, I'd maybe have the guts to go visit my granddaughter instead of skulking here like some craven ghost. That's if some kind and brave soul fetched it for me. Legend has it, Kishara got herself in some hot water with a certain Queen Adziri. Details are vague as to exactly how, but by all accounts, Adziri were the most understanding of lasses. Kishara, being the free-spirited sort, probably just pricked the royal ass with some spiky facts from the outside world. Almost lost her head for her trouble, Kishara. Adziri took her ship and made sacrifices of her crew, forced the poor girlie into hiding. Still, Kishara being of a wily inclination like myself, she slipped through Adziri's talons and right out of the Empire. But before she left, Kishara hid the star somewhere near the causeway that leads into the old Vald city up north, just in case she got caught, I suppose. Something like that, in the hands of a tyrant like Adziri. Who knows what trouble she might have found with it. Always keep your eyes on the horizon.
feel it? Despair, thick as cloth. Your luck will run out soon, Challenger. Slay them amongst the flames. Your enemies hasten. The wind conspires with the flames. Night's madness strains away all hope. Can you feel
I can't do
death
this just yet.
coiling around your heart? Impressive, Challenger.
I can't do this just yet.
I hope you've enjoyed your brief string of victories.
I feel I have failed my poor Groost, not being able to return his bones to the resting place of his people. Still, we have done all we could, considering the circumstances. Groost was a practical man at heart, he would understand. You deserve our thanks. Here are some of Groost's most treasured possessions. I'm sure he would have wanted you to have one. Till next time, shall we keep, Savior? Greetings. Journey well.
Yes, I know of Gruthgul, the grieving mother. She featured quite prominently in some of the Val texts I restored during my time at the museum in Theopolis. After the deaths of her children, Queen Gruthgul fled north, eventually finding respite amongst the refugees of her own shattered realm. Yet these loyalists saw their own queen as a weapon, a tool for vengeance. They nurtured her pain, transfiguring sorrow into hatred, hatred into violence. Like a grizzled bear, Gruthgul descended into animalism and ferocity. Yet her caretakers foolishly underestimated the agony their bereaved queen harbored in her heart. Like a bear caught in a trap, Gruthgul wrenched free of her human loyalties and slew her followers to the last woman and child. Through devastation, Gruthgul ascended to divinity. Gruthgul's pain has transcended ages, and she will vent that pain upon any and all she encounters until her grief is finally laid to rest. The end of learning is the beginning.
Gruthgul got a lot less fun after, all her children died. Not my fault.
I can't do this just yet.
Wrathcall! Thus I release you from motherhood's rage. The tragedy is that our world, our kind, may turn something as pure and honorable as a mother's love into such a vicious weapon of wrath and butchery. I only hope that Wrathcall will find her children, happy in her arms in the realms beyond.
Your series of victories will end here. Lightning descends. The storm comes swiftly. Night's madness drains away all hope. Can you feel death coiling around your heart? Lightning always strikes twice. Ruin hides in every corner. Your series of victories continues.
I believe in traveling light.
Greetings. Journey well.
You are like the frog that strikes the fly faster than I can see. No. Carry your bright bags to Arakali's gate. We will meet there and brew our fire dew. Not here. Too much to burn. Too many to make blind. Go with the spirit.
So the grieving mother sleeps once more. Her story has come to fascinate me, and your conquest of her makes for a satisfying dramatic climax, don't you think? I'm but an old man living vicariously through your life. As history seems intent on repeating itself, I should record it in a book. An historical account of the goddess Gruthkol and the legendary champion who defeated her. Yes, the title needs a bit of work, but it will suffice for now. Here, consider this offering as an advance on the royalties we shall reap post-publication. That is, if there is anyone in Rayclast who can read. Keep your wits about you.
Great works require a touch of insanity.
A worthy opponent!
fireflies, so bright and juicy with flame. Now for the right. I warn you. Stand back and be not afraid of what you see. And be not afraid for me. The spirit guides and protects. Though I may change, I shall still be, will always be, Yina.
So, this is Kishara's famed star. Just as I reckoned. It won't point me in any one direction. It can't make up its mind. I suspect due to me not being able to make up mine. I feel a tremor of prophecy coming over me, like some scallywags just stomped over my grave. If I go see Lily, there's to be only disappointment and sorrow. Well, if that's what the future has in store, then it can keep it. I wish a long and vibrant life for the girlie. One free of the trouble that an old dead buccaneer like I might bring upon her. Always keep your eyes on the horizon.
Greetings. Farewell.
I'm being punished, aren't I? Vengeance is cold indeed. Death's cold grip is inescapable. Hate begets hate. Night's madness strains away all hope. Can you feel death coiling around your heart? Your reach exceeds your grasp. Ruin hides in every corner. This is insufferable.
I believe in traveling light. I believe in traveling light.
Death is the true climax of perverted lust. Many an artist of Esmerian descent has engaged in the sad worship of that sultry arachnid. But you looked in those hypnotic eyes and then ripped them out. She lies in her bed of sordid memory, alone. A little of the spider yet creeps and crawls in my palm. A touch more power for my subduer of gods?
Hello. Keep your life to your own.
Welcome.
You hear that? No? It is spirit singing us as the fly who escapes the web. Yes, it is most happy with us. And with your strange friend there too. He is a god. Yes, I can see that much. But why he helps you? Of all questions, that one you must have answered to. Now I must return to Broken Bridge. So tired now. We will speak more of silk and sorrow then.
What with such large walls trying to keep out, or keep in?
I knew you'd find me. You and I were two coins in the same cup. It's time. Good job, Exile.
Is this some farcical joke?
Just in time. Ah, there you are. Ready to revisit the past? Let's go.
I can't do this just yet.
Good job, Exile. Just in time. Ah, there you are. Ready to... It's... Good job.
I believe in traveling light.
Good to see you're still soldiering on. With all these gods in past horrors wandering around, son, I don't assume anyone's alive and kicking these days. Quite the pretty pair, aren't they? Yeah, it's pretty bloody disturbing. That girl was once the sweetest lass I could name. Nowadays she's barking as batshite over that living corpse of hers. All it would take is a quick hard bash with a rock, and Tolman would no longer be a problem. Tempting, don't you think? Grigor left without a single word to me, rude bugger. But I suspect his poetic soul has been drawn back home to Izmir. A long journey, but a trip worth taking to find solace among one's own people. Of course, they'll get quite the shock when they see him. Let's hope familial love is as nearsighted as they say. There are the fine tales Grigor will be able to tell them, of course. Come to think of it, now that Dominus has been knocked off his perch, there's nothing to stop the Izamites from learning a thing or two from Grigor's stories. They might even consider invading this jewel in Rayclast's tarnished crown. I certainly hope they have just such an eye for opportunity. A man could make a tidy sum helping said invaders navigate San and its many hazards. Don't do anything I would. What's up? Bring me back something nice, eh?
Good to see you in San once again. I wish that we could be greeting under fairer skies, yet this city remains clouded in strife. Lunaris, eternal goddess of the moon, and her sister Solaris of the sun, have risen to reclaim what was once their own. Siblings equal in strength, mighty twin rivers converging, sweeping all before them. We are cornered animals, awaiting the deluge that will surely drown us. Yet there exists a pair of ancient treasures, the sun orb and the moon orb. They are our hope, our desperation. Grigor is the butterfly that has lost its wings to a cruel child, and this place of respite has become a cage for his pain, a breeding ground of bad memory. We spoke, and Grigor shared his resolve with me. He can no longer live with the torment that piety has injected into his heart. Like the warrior poet he is, Grigor has ventured into the unknown to find a cure for his body and mind, or die in the attempt. The dead do not love the living, and the living cannot love the dead. People fear what they do not understand. I understand, Clarissa. I am not frightened of her. I am frightened for her. They walked our earth in the times of great strife, cruel and hideous shadows cast against the clay wall of ruined abode. Thaumaturge Malachi grew them out of the vain ambitions of his dark imaginings. Emperor Chittis believed the legionnaires belonged to him, that Gemline men would beat to the drum of his own crystalline heart. But as the silhouette of the Emperor faltered and fell, burned out by the light of true men, some of the Legion remained. The cataclysm turned legionnaire into monster, another mindless man of undeath. Yet this captain seems to have regained his faculties, some of his old warrior intelligence. I worry for the rest of his soldiers, how they may grow from mindless killing machines into something far worse. Goodbye.
San is changing, and so are we who live here. There, Tolman. Don't you worry. I love you. I'll think of something. You told me Tolman was gone.
You were wrong. I found him. No, Tolman, I never gave up on you. His soul remains, flickering deep down inside. Oh, Tolman, I know you're in pain, but it'll be over soon, I promise. My heart aches for Grigor. I know the battle in which he's engaged. It's like my own, a fight to make sense of life in a land that deems life to be worthless. I don't know where he's gone, but I do know he's looking to find himself, his true self, as we all must do in our own time. By all accounts, Tarkus Veruso was a ruthless despot, a man to rival even the likes of Dominus. Yet his heart of stone contained one precious theme, his love for his wife, Chiara. So when the poor young woman died giving birth to Veruso's son, Caspero, the grieving emperor threw aside his great convictions and placed his last hope in thaumaturgy, in the Ankh of eternity. Perhaps it was shame that drove Tarkus to lock the Ankh away, to steal such hopes from his descendants. It was he who had asked his people to turn their backs on the ancient arts, so what right had he to enjoy that which he forbade? Love gave him that right. As I understand it, the Ankh of Eternity was somehow able to return the dead to the full bloom of life. There was nothing necromantic about it. Rather, it was a source of true resurrection. How it came to exist, I honestly don't know. A couple of inscriptions I read treated the Ankh as some sort of gift to Veruso from the Val. But surely the Val were long gone by Veruso's time, weren't they? No matter. Despite the vagaries of the Ankh's origins, Veruso used the Ankh to return his young wife from the deathbed to the wedding bed. The accounts are unanimous on that point. As it was for Veruso's love, so shall it be for mine. Bye.
Dodri Darktongue is the insidious infection that threatens to make septic the great and terrible wound that is Sarn. However, any certainty that I had as to her exact whereabouts has been sundered by the sheer stench of her presence. We shall have to deduce her location from those who know the area best. These locals that cling to Sarn like hungry maggots. If we are to see the dawn of a new era for humankind, the sun must be taught to behave herself. Upon that mighty span between Sarn's left hand and its right, Solaris burns to consume every single moment of existence. Sparing no thought for life and its needs, she would see the world parched barren before she yields to reason. The sun must be allowed to set so that it may rise again as a blessing, not a curse. Self-loving Solaris, all the light in the world yet blinded by her own pride. Not once did she pause to question the truth of her sister's betrayal. Instead, she gloated over her sister's transgressions, proclaiming herself greater and more honorable than Lunaris could ever be. I suppose one shouldn't be surprised when a sun deity takes the higher ground. We approach the zenith of our divine hunt, upon the bridge that chokes the great, wet throat of Sarn. Lunaris, in her cold fury, has forgotten that the warming sun of morning is as life-giving as the cooling damp of evening. The empire Lunaris dreams of shall be lit by moon and twinkling stars, and life itself shall wither away in the perpetual night. One of two sisters who ruled the most populous and powerful of the ancient Asmerian tribes. Solaris was thought to guide the sun across the sky with threads of shimmering gold, whilst Lunaris saw to the wax and wane of moon with a sickle of purest silver. It was a peaceful partnership, until the trickster Tang Mazum happened upon their domain, and turning sister against sister, he saw to the massacre of thousands, whilst concealing the source of their futile feud beyond all reckoning. Feel no pity for the moon. She is a cold and distant fool, far less radiant than she would suppose. Goodbye.
If Sam wasn't mad enough, now we've got some whip-tongued hag cooking up a stinking curse in the sewers. Took it from her mother-in-law at first. But no, based on my meagre historical knowledge, I reckon we have a certain Dodry Darktongue to contend with. Where in blazes is she hiding? I've no idea. So, the only way we're going to catch this witch is by getting our hands, and possibly a lot more, well and truly dirty. And by we, I mean you, of course. The sewers are no place for a simple businessman like me. Do us a favour. Head into them sewers and track that old hag down. Get her to reveal herself, and put her down. Ha! Better your eyes than mine, eh? Needing my eclectic expertise again, are we? Solaris and Lunaris got front and centre stage among them folks at the Eternal Empire. Solaris was thought to be the light of leadership, guiding and enlightening each emperor that sat the throne. In practice, most of them emperors turned out to be a bit dim. But then history and theology have never quite seen eye to eye. As for Lunaris, a goddess of the moon and earth, the mother of dreams and inspiration. Doesn't sound like a bad lady until you consider that dreams harbour nightmares and that inspiration is just one notion shy of insanity. Good luck to you.
Goodbye.
Need some help?
Well, I need to get out of here, so we'll continue this tomorrow. So till then, hope you guys have a good one. Catch you all later. Bye now.